friends, welcome back to Llama Mama Kayla's Yarn Tube. I'm Kayla, and I appreciate you being here today, stopping by and hanging out with me while I work on my sweetheart Valentine granny rectangle blanket. Did I say all that correctly? I'm just going to work on this while we chat and I answer questions from yesterday's video. So if you have any questions you'd like for me to answer, you can put those in the comment box under this video. Well, the comment section. You can leave your question there, and I will try my best to answer it in tomorrow's video. So that's what I'm doing this month, and I'm enjoying it. I think some of you are enjoying it. I hope you are. But yeah, it's fun. It's fun doing this way. And I'm, glad that I'm getting to answer some of you guys' questions. Y'all have some awesome questions. Now, there's maybe a couple of questions that I purposely don't answer because it's something that I'm just not going to talk about and don't feel comfortable talking about or whatever. But anyway, it's just a couple of those, and if you've asked the question twice and I didn't answer it, you can, just kind of get the idea. But if you've asked a question and I did not answer it, because it's a lot to go through, and I'm jotting the questions down in on notebook paper and then, answering them here. And so if you did ask something and I didn't answer it, and you've only asked it like once, you can, ask it again, maybe, and I'll see it that time, maybe. But anyway, guys, that's what I'm doing. And so this is the 4th video on this blanket. So if you want to know, like, a lot more details about this, what's going on here, maybe you can jump back and catch some of those videos. 1, 2, 3, and 4. It'd be easy to catch up if you have a lot of time to watch. But anyway, I'm just going to get started here because these videos have been getting kind of long. And some people, don't have time to watch long videos, and some people do. But I'm just going to start. Right now, I'm still kind of following what I did on my middle squares here. I'm still kind of following this pattern. Like, I'm going to use the white, then I'm going to use the variegated, and then the gray, and then I'm going to go rogue after that, okay? Then I'm just going to start doing a lot more random. So I hope I finish these 3 rows up today. I'm recording this in the middle of the night, so in hopes of having it uploaded and by the, morning time and all. So, yeah. But I do want to thank you all for being here, and I do just appreciate each and every one of you. I'm loving your questions, all kinds of just random questions, and I like that. Sometimes it's hard to, think about, what do people want to know? What do they want to hear about? And it's hard to come up with topics or something, and so this is very helpful in that area. Just pull me out some yarn, because I'm going to do a white round now. And like I said, I'm just joining in and jumping in here and getting started. So some questions might be a little bit of a repeat. I won't go into as much detail if it is a repeat. I do know that some of these questions were answered in previous videos, and so I might just say I've had this question in another video, because I don't want to answer the same question in every video. But I also know that sometimes people aren't able to watch every video, because they have a life, a job, family, stuff like that going on. And then some of us, we don't have a lot going on, and we can watch every video of people's, and the whole video and all that kind of stuff. So we're just all in different seasons of life, and yeah. Anyway, and I already covered the thoughts of the missed questions, just re-ask it. But if you've asked it and somebody else has asked it, and I didn't answer it, it may just be because that's not something that I can really talk about. All right, guys. So anyway, so Big Daddy, first off, let me just say I lied to y'all. I said that we were just going to stay home, hang out this weekend. It was going to be raining, and so we weren't going to do anything but rest because Big Daddy was really tired. Well, he has been having a lot of issues with, his knees are weak, and they bend backwards sometimes, and he has bone on bone there in his knees, and they've been bothering him a lot. So he went to the nurses station at work and ended up getting a Toradol shot and a prednisone shot. So guess who woke up with a lot of energy this morning from that prednisone shot? I thought he would be so tired and just want to, do nothing, especially since it was going to be a rainy day. But no, he woke up, got dressed. I woke up and I heard him in there making a lot of noise. I was wondering, what is he doing? And then he come in there, he said, "Hey, get up. Let's go get dressed. Let's go to town." I was like, "What? Who are you? Where is Big Daddy?" And so I got up and I was like, "Where are you going?" He said, "Well, I need to get a haircut, and there's probably places you want to go. Let's go." He's like, "We can go by Ollie's." And I knew right then he was out of chips from Ollie's. And that's why he wanted to go to Ollie's. So I got up and got dressed and tended to all the animals and everything I needed to do so we could get out the door, and we did. And it was raining. And I don't like going to town in the rain. I don't like running in and out of stores in the rain and stuff like that. But we went and he got a haircut, and then I just sit in the car. It's a barber shop. It's just old men in there. So I just sit in the car, and it don't take long at all. I don't know how many people are in there that cut hair. I've never asked, but it doesn't take too long, and I see men coming in and out. But then we left there, and we came back up the road. Oh, and let me just tell you, this was like 8 a.m. We were going down Louisville Avenue. That's one of the main roads going through the middle of town. It was Mardi Gras Day, or our second Mardi Gras parade. We're going to have lots of Mardi Gras parades here around in our area. We had one last weekend. There's one this weekend. And this one this weekend is really our main Mardi Gras. It was last night, Saturday night. Yeah. So at 8 o'clock, we were going down the road. It is raining. There are RVs parked everywhere. People had tents up, campers, some of those pop-up tents, and then they'd have, tables and chairs, and just, it looked like they made little houses out there, and they had grills, ice chest, just all kinds of things like that set up. And some people might have camped there all night long. I think the RVs, because I've seen a lot of generators, people sitting out under their pop-up tents where they had made little comfortable areas to sit and hang out all day. I guess people could leave and go, because we saw people at Walmart getting stuff for the parade. But yeah, it was just lined up the whole road where people were, already getting situated to watch the parade later that night. Parade don't start till dark, and it actually starts across the river in West Monroe and makes its way to Monroe. I do believe that's correct. But anyway, I would have liked to went to the parade, but by the time it got dark. It did stop raining during the day, but by the time it got dark and it was time for the parade, it was raining again, so I don't know. But I would have liked to went and recorded some for you guys, but yeah, that just wasn't happening. So anyway, after we went to Ollie's, let's see, what did we get at Ollie's? He got his chips, and it's some kind of honey, pineapple honey, I don't know, habanero. I did taste one, a little tiny piece of one. I spit it out and threw it away because it was nasty. Not for me, but he loves these yucky chips. So he likes to go and get him a few bags of that. And then we were in a checkout line, and I saw the little Cadbury mini eggs. The ones with like it's a hard shell with milk chocolate. I saw those as we were in line at a close by the checkouts, and so I went and grabbed him a little bag of those because he loves those too. And I didn't get anything at Ollie's. That's all we got was his chips, and then I saw the little Cadbury mini eggs. They have the hard shell and they're chocolate on the inside, and they're the little bitty ones. He has always loved those, and so I got him some of those and handed them to him. He's like, oh yeah, thank you. So, and then we went to Walmart after that. We needed to get some new windshield wipers for the car and some milk. That's what we went in for. And we just looked around and ended up getting not a whole lot of groceries, but a few things that we knew we were out of. And Big Daddy has here comes Sissy and her talking, but Big Daddy has a little refrigerator in his office at work, and so he tries to keep some things in there. I always make sure I send him like fruit cups, and which those don't really have to be refrigerated, but he likes them cold. And so he's got some lunch meat. He takes some bread in his bag. Sometimes he don't always take a lunch, but he has been this past week because he was working such long hours. He has been taking some. So he got some small bottles of condiments like ketchup, not ketchup, but mayonnaise and mustard and different things like that to take to work and put in his little refrigerator. And he keeps some unsweet teas in there. I drink sweet tea. He drinks unsweet tea. He don't use any kind of sugar or artificial anything like that. He just drinks nasty unsweet tea. I take one sip of unsweet tea and I'm just like gagging like I'm dying. Okay, so anyway, we ended up going to town, and then we came home after that and just been hanging out. He took a nap on the couch. Like, I went in there to see if our plans were we were going to record a Happy Meal video together, and I went in there to see if he was ready to record it, and he was sitting there on the couch asleep. So I came back in here, and then later I got real sleepy and couldn't hold my eyes open, so I went and laid down. So we just wasn't coordinated today. Or yesterday for Saturday. But maybe we'll get coordinated today. We plan on doing that video. He asked me, he said, I thought we was going to do a video together. I said, well, it didn't work out today, but maybe tomorrow. Someone had mentioned something in the last video. They said that they heard Sassy talking or something like that. It's Sissy. She is the talker. She has talked ever since we got her. it sounds like she's saying hello, 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 and I'll wake up during the middle of the night sometimes and just hear her talking, and sometimes it startles me, and then I realize, oh, that's Sissy. But yes, she's the talker. She loves to talk. I don't know that Sassy really says too much. She might meow or make some kind of noise, but Sissy's the one that thinks she can talk. Sassy? Sassy, was you playing with your toy? Sassy. Sassy, you playing with your toy? Okay, so somebody asked about when I was younger, did I approach things differently? Being that she says that sometimes that she notices that with people who are on the artist brain or whatever. I don't know. Probably so. I don't know for sure, but I do know exactly what you're talking about. I know, let me see if I can say this. I do know people, I'll say, oh, she's totally a brain. And if you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about, but I don't know. I don't think I was that extreme. But maybe some people do. I don't know. I don't know if I approach things differently or not. I have no idea. I don't know what normal is. It's not me, probably. And then someone asked, do I get upset when people stare at my hands? Or no, not really. It really doesn't bother me. Most adults, like in town or something, I'd say most adults don't even notice. Children notice because my hands are lower. So sometimes I'll see that a child notices and I'll just wave to them and smile to them, no big deal. Now, if I give a cashier cash or change or something like that, I do notice their eyes are like sometimes it's so funny because their eyes will be like taking the money from me, but they're looking at my hands, and they look at the money, look back at my hands, and their eyes are just jotting around because they're like, oh my gosh, she didn't have any fingers, or I don't know. I find that very funny. But, no, it doesn't really bother me when people, if they say something, it gives me an opportunity to bring awareness to Raynaud's and scleroderma and, but I don't know. It really doesn't bother me if I see people staring. I mean, I don't know. I'm not bashful. person, so maybe that's why it doesn't bother me. I don't know. But I can see where it would, would bother some people. If they're a private person. I'm not a private person. I'm tell it like it is. Tell you, open book. Like, yeah, this is what I'm doing. This is what I'm dealing with, and just got to deal with it and move on type of person or whatever, So, let's see. Another question is, remember when I first got the yarn room situated? Okay, so I'm crocheting in the parlor, and sometimes I refer to this as the cake room because it has all my yarn cakes in here. But Dakota's room I turned into the yarn room, so it is, covered in yarn. And at first I didn't want to let the cats in there. I was afraid they would mess up my yarn, and plus I just didn't want cat hair all in there. But yeah, what was I thinking? But they do go in that room sometimes if I'm in there, because they have to be in whatever room I'm in. They follow me. If I walk to the back of the house, I have 3 animals that follow me: Phoebe, Sissy, and Sassy. And then I turn around, I come back in here, and they all follow me back. Big Daddy laughs when we walk past him and my trail of animals following me. Let me get a drink of tea real quick. I'm drinking some sweet tea. I'm almost out. But I do have a lock on the outside of that door. That door has just some weird little doors on it. It's some doors that just, actually they pop in. They pop in, and then, you pop them closed. Well, the cats can open those. And so I did have to my son Elijah put a little lock on the outside for me so I can keep them out of there if I'm not in there. And let's see. Yeah, we talked about yesterday, I talked about hooks and using different types of hooks for different types of yarn, or just whatever the project, it might work better for different hooks and stuff. And so someone commented that they do that. They have to change hooks when their hands get tired and fatigue and starts hurting and stuff like that. So yeah, and I was explaining that's why I have a lot of hooks. And someone asked again about these hooks. I did answer this in yesterday's video. These were made by Tina, and I love these hooks. She made these really fat so that I can hold that in my hand, a good grip. And so I did go in a lot more detail, I think, in yesterday's video. I don't know how to get in touch with Tina, though, but she's here. Tina Camper Girl, or Camper with some numbers, or it's Tina Camper something. And she may be on Facebook under that name, so you might can find her that way. So I just threw in the hook because I did have that question repeat, but I did talk about it in yesterday's. Okay, so moving on to the questions here. Someone asked, do I feel sorry for myself? No, I don't feel sorry for myself. I'm not sure what your conditions is and what your limitations are. But I can see that happening. Now, sometimes I do get frustrated. Like when I can't do stuff that I want to do, I do get frustrated. And sometimes I do feel like I have to work twice as hard at things than other people do. Because, I know that things that's hard for me and I'm having trouble with, I know it's just so easy for some people. And then sometimes people can't get, well, why can't you do that? Like, this is all you do. It's, whatever. And I'm just like, yeah, but you don't have my hands. You don't understand Like, even though you might see, yeah, she could do that with that hand, you don't know the pain inside that hand. You can't see pain. You can't see numbness and stuff like that. So I do get frustrated, but I don't think that I feel sorry for myself. Now, each time that I've had, faced the loss of a finger, I've cried my eyes out because nobody wants to lose a finger. And then I get over it, and I'm like, it is what it is. I'll adjust and deal with it. But I do get upset about that and cry my eyes out about it. And then by the time I even tell people, because when this finger got bad, I didn't even tell people. Like, people who were around me daily knew, but I didn't even tell my sister about it. I didn't say anything about it on Facebook. I might have said to a small group that I was with at the time, or I'm still with that group actually, but I might have mentioned it to them. I'm sure I did. But to the general public, friends, that I didn't see in person, people didn't even know. And a lot of times that's the way it is. Like, I'll have a finger dying because I know that, the finger's dying, and I've already grieved at that finger by the time I tell people that I'm losing a finger. And so I'll be over it, and then people will be like, oh, I'm so sorry, I feel sorry. I'm just like, I don't ever want anyone to feel sorry for me. Like, I can't stand that. So when I tell people stuff about my hands, it's really just to bring awareness and to say, but this is how I'm dealing with it, or whatever. I don't want anyone to feel sorry for me. And so I don't feel sorry for myself, but I do feel frustration at times. We'll say that. And I do, I miss those fingers. I do miss them because they allow me to do a lot of things, like, such as putting my hair in a ponytail and brushing my hair and doing things like that. I mean, there's things I'll never be able to do again. I mean, I do try to brush my hair, but yeah, but I can't do like a ponytail. And I have, my hair is like a little bit longer, so I have to sleep with it up. I can't sleep with it on my neck and in my face and all that. So I just use a big clippy and clip it all twist it up and clip it to the very top of my head. I look a mess. But I can't make a ponytail. Anyway, I don't know. Maybe I answered that. Maybe I didn't. I hope I did. But like I said, I don't know your limitations and conditions, and so we all face things differently. But, living in chronic pain is hard. And I've done a video before, like, you have to have an escape. You have to find something else to focus on besides pain or your health condition. Like, my health conditions could consume me up. They really could. And so I use my doll collection as a way to escape this reality of pain and such. I'll, go take some photos of my dolls. I am limited on a lot of things I can do, and so I had to find something that I can do, that I enjoy, that brings me happiness. And so collecting dolls and taking some photos of them and making up a little silly story about what they're doing and acting like they're kind of real, and or acting like the doll said this or whatever, I mean, yeah, that's silly and crazy, and but it's a little bit of an escape for me. It takes my mind off of my pain for just a little bit. And so you find something that brings you joy, no matter if other people make fun of it. My friend Angela makes fun of my dolls, and sometimes it's hurtful. Sorry, Angela. But people don't realize that people don't realize just what a therapy it is for me. Hey, sissy. Hey, sissy girl. But anyway, oh, sorry. Sorry, Angela. But I am stuck at home all the time. You know, I don't have a way to go because Big Daddy has the car. Go on, sissy. Go on. No. No. I know a lot of people's going to say she's in heat, but she's not. Go on, girl. So, how'd you like that ride? No, sissy, get down. Get down. Okay, Phoebe's coming to get you. Yeah, see, Phoebe has to get on to her and tell her, don't get back on Mama's desk. Anyway, so my dolls are my therapy. I mean, I could be going to a therapist and paying thousands of dollars. But I use my dolls as a little escape and just, you know, to kind of take my mind off of it. And yeah, people don't understand that because they're not in my shoes. You know, they're able to do things they want to do if they choose to do things. But anyway, so I do encourage you, no matter, you know, like I said, I don't know your condition and your limitations, and I am speaking to this one person that, you know, has left some questions over the last few days or whatever. Find something that brings you joy and a way for you to take your mind off of your illness or your limitations or whatever. And yours, you know, it's not going to be the same as mine because we probably have different interests and such. But think about, you know, what would bring you joy? What kind of things do you like? And find something. And I hope that you do find something that can take your mind off of pain, limitations, and such. Okay? But I appreciate you asking these questions so very much. And I don't know if my answers are helpful at all, but I hope so. Okay, guys, I'm back. I had to stop the video for just a moment because Big Daddy was coming through and he's noisy. And so I stopped the video for a minute before he got in here so I could talk to him a second. He's going to bed now, so that's what's going on. And I fixed me some more tea. So I changed out and I have my big cup here, metal cup with tea in it now. But speaking about my hands and things, like even when I was pouring that tea, it's difficult for me to hold, you know, to get the pitcher of tea out of the refrigerator because I can't pick up a, you know, a full pitcher of tea with this hand. And in this hand, it's hard because, you know, this hand has pain, it's numb. So I have to just grab the handle and put my hand up under it, and it's hard. And then a lot of times when I'm pouring the tea, like I'm trying to pour tea in a cup or glass, if it's off just a little bit, then that glass will fall over, you know, or I end up spilling it, making a mess, and then it's more work for me. So that part is frustrating when I'm trying to do something that should be simple and I end up making a mess and making more work for myself, because then I gotta clean up the mess, you know, like get, because because you wouldn't want to leave sticky tea on the counter, or if it, you know, runs down the floor, you got to get that up before it dries. And so yeah, it just creates more work for myself, and that part is frustrating. That is the most difficult part for me, I guess. That, and then just thinking I can do things that I really can't do. That's frustrating also. Okay, so getting back with the questions. Okay, so I get a lot of questions about my pain pump and wanting to know how that works and all this kind of stuff. Well, I'm just going to go ahead and get myself a bolus. Right now, it's the last one of the day. You can see it says 1 bolus left. And so I have to use that here before midnight if I'm going to use it. So that's what I'm going to do. Let me try to turn this on. There it goes. So this is like a little Samsung phone in a case thing. And so what I do is, okay, there's a pump inside my abdomen on the front of my body, below my right breast. Okay, on my left side of my body, I have a feeding tube, and this is on the right side. And so I have to take this pump right here, this little mechanism here, and I hold it over the pump. I feel the pump, hold it over it, and then I hit the bolus, and so it connects to the pump. And then it says the bolus started, and it'll take 1 minute to administer it. So I just click OK and turn this little device off. And slip it in this side pocket here, so it keeps it all together. And I do have chargers where I put, this on charge and the phone on charge. And you can see it says I'm locked out for 8 hours and 49 minutes. So supposedly when you wake up the next morning, you would be able to do another bolus. I don't sleep 8 hours and 49 minutes. I might sleep the 49 minutes. No, I usually, when I do sleep, I sleep 3 to 4 hours at a time. But that's good. And then throughout the day, I would be locked out for 4 hours until I could take another bolus. And I have 4 of those I can take at a day. So anyway, that's the way it works. And so someone was also asking about, what about when it runs out of medication? Well, I have this little port in my chest where I get like my IVs and stuff like that. And so what they do on that is they feel, you can't see that port, it's under the skin, but you can feel, and you can feel where to poke the needle. And they poke that needle in there, and give me, like IVs and stuff like that. The pump is the same way. You can feel it through the skin. It's not deep, like down in the muscle. It's between the skin and the fat muscle and all that kind of stuff. But they can feel, and the pump is round, and then it has a little bitty triangle part. Like that's kind of, not exactly, but kind of something like that. And so this little area here is where they would put the medication. The same way as my port in my chest. It has a little spot where you stick the needle. And so they can feel and see where to do that. And then they just put the needle in and inject the medication. And that's how they refill my pump. So someone was asking that, and I totally get the curiosity in that, and just not understanding how it works, because I was getting the pump and still not fully understanding how everything worked. So the pump gives me medication continuously, like 24 hours a day, but I'm allowed those boluses to give myself a little extra kick, and to get over like breakthrough pain or just whatever uncomfortableness and pain and stuff that I do have. And you don't get, with a pain pump like that, you don't get like overdosed, or it's heavily controlled. And I'm getting such a small amount right now. Later, like, I go every 2 weeks, and they'll up my dosage by 20%. And eventually it'll get to a dosage that actually, you know, is giving me lots of relief. I'm not there yet, but one day we will be. And it may take a while, because they up it so small because they don't want to give you too much. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, that's the way that works. And I hope I explained that well enough. And I, you know, just wanted to show, like, what I do when I get the bolus. Like, it's all just right there on that little phone thingy. But that was a great question. Thanks for asking it. So, someone has said that they live up north. I think she might have said Minnesota. I'm not quite, I read so many things I can't remember exactly the state, but or maybe that was another one. But anyway, she said her mother has Raynaud's and her fingers are cold and gloves don't help. I know that feeling. Once the fingers are really cold, like, it's hard to warm them up, and just putting on a glove will not just warm them up. I have to use hand warmers. Sometimes the best thing to use is just skin on skin. I keep these hand warmers. Here, I keep some in my desk. I keep some in my to-go bag, my purse, some in my nightstand. Like, I have these everywhere. Everywhere that I'm going to be, I have hand warmers. And so these are for hunters, I guess, really. It's supposed to be up to 10 hours of heat. And it's 2 of them in here. And you just cut it across the top and slip out this little sachet thing. And you shake it up. And as you shake it, it produces heat. So sometimes I go to bed at night holding this in my hand, you know, like this. Sometimes if I do have a pair of gloves on, I'll stick this down in my glove. But I don't know if you can see how white the tip of my finger is there. I don't know if y'all are seeing that the way I am in real life. But, yeah. And then sometimes when the finger's dying and the nerves are dying in there and gangrene is setting up, you can't warm that finger up no matter what. Just no amount of heat like that, or putting it in front of a heater or hot water or anything like that is going to warm it up. So I do understand that difficulty. The hand warmers is the most, you know, the best thing that I use. Sometimes a heating pad, but a lot of times just skin on skin, laying on my hands, just trying to get them warm, you know. A lot of times snuggling up with one of the cats or Phoebe works also. I'll put my hands under Sassy, wrap my arms around her and just get my hands up under her, and she don't mind that at all. She loves it. She thinks I'm just loving on her. Alright, I finished this white round. Okay, somebody asked in yesterday's video. Now I'm recording these videos in the middle of the night. It is 1:33 a.m. right now, Sunday morning, 1:33 a.m. So Saturday's video was filmed during Friday night, early weird hours of the Saturday morning. Somebody asked what was a noise. It maybe came from my bathroom. I don't know. I don't know. I didn't know of a noise that happened. Probably it was the cats. They run through here in the middle of the night. They get a wild hair and they just start running and being crazy, and yeah, so it's probably the cats. I don't recall anything especially happening. Okay, so I finished the white round. I'm going to do a round of the variegated next. So just going to hook that in, and we're going to continue talking and crocheting away. When I add another yarn, anytime I add a yarn, this is what I do. I put my short tail this way and my long tail, you know, on this side. And so when I pull through, hopefully those stay the same. And when I pull through, I just know to grab the one closest to me at that time. And then I drop the tail. But I always put my tail the furthest from me, so I'll know which one to grab. Let me see. Alright. I'm not sure if I did that one just correctly, so let me just see. Because my crochet hook had came out of the loop. Alright. That looks better. Alright, making my corner here. Alright, so next question is my favorite color. They said they know my favorite color is yellow, but what are some close seconds or whatever? Yes, yellow is my favorite color. I also like turquoise, red, and pink. I mean, I like all colors. I don't have a color that, you know, like I refuse to use or don't like. Now, I will say crocheting with black is hard. Even with the magnifying glasses on, everything. Sometimes crocheting with black is hard to see the stitches. But I do like, you know, using black in projects. I mean, I do like the look of it. Now, is it worth the hassle? Sometimes yes and sometimes no. I have to question myself, like, do I really want to use that black? Would it be just as good if I used a different color? And sometimes I use the black, and I'm thankful that I did in the end, even though it's a struggle seeing the stitches at times. Okay, so, but yeah, I love yellow, turquoise, pink, red. It depends on, I guess, the mood, the project, what's going on, I guess. I don't know. The season. And I do like turquoise, red, and white together. But I like pink and green together. Yeah, I like purple. Purple's not my favorite color, even though people thought that for years because I had purple hair. And people always thought purple was my favorite color, but it really wasn't. I just wanted purple hair. When I turned 40, I dyed my hair purple. I wanted purple hair when I was a teenager. My mom wouldn't let me. So I did it when I turned 40. And I had purple hair for many, many years. And I grew out of that phase. Okay, so what do I do while I'm crocheting? I guess when I'm not recording and talking to you guys, I watch something. If I can get a good enough internet connection, I'll stream something. And what do I like to watch? I like cop shows or mysteries. I really like anything, but I'm drawn to like detective shows. But then sometimes there's a good drama that I'm into, so it just depends. It really depends on my mood. But once in a while I'll listen to like a book online, but I have to really be in the mood for that. Like, it's not just so. And somebody else did ask, do I read? No, I used to read a lot as a kid and as a young adult, and as a young mom. We would have reading time. I would, always read to my kids. But then as they got older, they would have time where, silent reading on their own, and I would silent read on my own also, so that I was setting that good example, And my kids are readers. They read a lot. But I can't read and crochet at the same time. I don't know, some people might can do that, but I can't. And so, sometimes I don't really enjoy listening to books online. But sometimes it depends on the book. It depends on how bad I really wanted to read that book. Or if I think I'd really enjoy that book, I might, give it a try. Sometimes I can listen to one online, and sometimes I just can't. Like, I'm just like, I just can't listen to this. But anyway, yeah. And then someone asked about, this is a repeat question about my unicycle. I went into great detail on Saturday's video on that, but yes, I gave some details about when I used to ride a unicycle and how that came about and all that kind of stuff, so you can check out that Saturday video. Let me get a sip of tea. Oh yeah, next question. Someone asked about Pee-wee and Cherry. Yes, Pee-wee is, I watched Pee-wee with my brother as he was growing up. We used to watch Pee-wee Herman together. And remember, I was 13 years older than him. I got a lot of the jokes and stuff that was over his head. But we always watched Pee-wee Herman together. And, my little friend Zeke that comes down, he didn't know who Pee-wee Herman was, so I pulled up a little show of Pee-wee Herman and was showing him that, and he was looking at it. He was looking at it like it was so stupid, and I realized, hey, that is so stupid. But to me, it's still hilarious because I just remember watching it with my brother, and yeah, it was so silly, right? I think I messed up while I was laughing too hard to do that, but yeah. So yes, I have a Pee-wee Herman here. It does remind me of my brother, mostly. That's why I have him. And I have a big Pee-wee Herman too. I have one that's like 18 inches tall. I think I've posted a picture on him before on Instagram. Okay, let me see. This yarn doesn't, they're all 4-weight yarns, but this one doesn't feel quite as thick as the Red Hearts. They feel thicker. Let's see. Infusions. I think I answered that question already in a video, but yes, I'll go back in May and get 2 more infusions. And then I won't go back for 6 months. So that's the way we're doing it. Every 6 months, I get 2 infusions. I'll have one week, and then like, I think 2 weeks later, I'll go back for the next one. So that's the way we're working that. Is every 6 months. And they say that medication stays in your system for 6 months. Now, I don't know about that, but that's what they say. That's what people say. Alright, color pooling. Someone asked, have I ever done color pooling? Not on purpose. But sometimes, like a yarn will do its own thing and it turns out cool, even though you didn't try. So I know people who, do color pooling, even on loom knitting, and it's beautiful. Crochet color pooling, it turns out beautiful. I don't know, sometimes I just feel like I don't have the brain power to learn something new. I just feel like I just want to crochet. I don't want to like learn anything. That's the way I feel a lot of times. Now if you hear that scratching noise, that is one of the cats in the litter box. And sometimes Sassy will just walk over there and she'll be standing outside the litter box and just stick her paw in and just be scratching. I don't know. Cats are crazy. They do their own thing. Okay, let's see. Oh, someone asked about whatever happened to that puppy parade video. Great question. I know I've apologized about that before, but what happened was we crocheted some dogs and I was collecting the pictures and was going to make a puppy parade video. Well, at the same time, when it came time to put that video together, my son's dog died, Taco, who was 12 years old, and he actually died like right on his birthday. And it was just a very traumatic, sad time for my son Dakota. When Taco died, he brought Taco home, and we sat here and cried our eyes out while Big Daddy and Elijah went and buried him. It was really late at night one night, and I don't know, it was such a hard time, and Dakota missed Taco so much after that. I didn't have the heart to ask him to put these photos together. I just didn't have the heart to ask him to do it, because I knew he was having such a hard time grieving for Taco, and so I just didn't ask him to do it, okay? And I didn't have the mental capacity to, I didn't have the mental skills to do that on my own. So yeah, that's what happened. I just couldn't do that to Dakota. Oh, somebody asked this, how did me and Big Daddy meet? And they're asking about how we stayed married this long. I think we've been married 34 years. Yep, 34 years this year. And they're asking how did we meet and how do we stay together this long? Well, I got him at Walmart. I tried to return him and they wouldn't take him back, okay? That's how we're still together. Walmart won't take him back. Here comes this Sassy now. They take turns getting up here. But yeah, I met him at Walmart. We both worked at Walmart. And actually, honestly, I don't think I've ever told anyone this. When I first met him, actually, I thought his name was Frank. And I knew I was going to marry this guy. I didn't even know his name. And I already was like, knowing I was going to marry him, right? And so, I did learn his name. But at first, I did, for some reason, thought his name was Frank. And then I realized it was Jody. And one day, a lady who had been in my life all my life came in. She was a minister. And I told her, I said, Sister Diane, come here, I want to show you who I'm going to marry. And so I took her down this aisle. And I said, okay, look down this aisle. When we walked past this aisle, look down here. And she did. And I was like, that's who I'm going to marry. Now, we ain't even dated. We've only said hi to each other. But I just knew that I was going to marry him. Like, I instantly knew that. And so I took her over there to show her who I was going to marry. before we ever even went out on a date. Okay, so how have we stayed together? Like I said, I tried to return him a few times, and they'd say, oh, no, no, no returns, no returns, because, you know, we worked there, and so the door greeters and all, you know, people used to have to stop and get a little ticket on your item that you was returning. They'd put a little sticker on it, and I'd try to get him a sticker every time. And they wouldn't give me one for him, so I had to keep him. And that's how we stayed married this long. Walmart won't take him back. No, how have we stayed married? I mean, marriage is not easy. It's not. You have to do a lot of forgiving. You have to get over yourself. You have to realize that even though that person is annoying, you're just as annoying. Like, I know Big Daddy gets on my nerves. He's annoying at times, and sometimes I'm just rolling my eyes when he's doing something or saying something behind, you know, where he can't see. But anyway, he gets on my nerves, and I could complain about him, but I also know he could write a book about me. He could write a big old chapter book about me, because I'm annoying too. I'm spoiled. He has spoiled me from the get-go, so it's his fault that I'm spoiled. But, yeah, you know, marriage isn't perfect people having a good marriage. Marriage is doing the best you can, forgiving, lots of forgiving of each other. I mean, sometimes Big Daddy says stuff that hurts my feelings. He said something a couple weeks ago that I'm still trying to get over. He thought he was being funny, and it was not funny to me. It was cruel to me, what he said. And I'm still trying to get over it, obviously. But the thing is, I realized that I do know that he thought he was being funny, but he wasn't funny. He just don't know that that was not funny, and he knows he hurt my feelings, and he hadn't mentioned it anymore, and I hadn't mentioned it anymore, but I'll get over it. I love him, I do, even though he says stupid stuff sometimes, but equally, I'm sure I say stupid stuff. Well, I think a lot of stupid stuff. I just don't say my stupid stuff verbally, right? Yeah. I keep my stupid thoughts to myself, and he's stupid and says his stupid thoughts. So that's the way that works. Yeah. So, I don't know, like, other than just, you have to be a lot of forgiving in, you know, a marriage. And it's hard when people first get married. Like, those first few years are the hardest. I'm sure everybody would agree on that, because you're trying to learn to live with this person, and you have different ideas. And at the beginning, you probably think you're all on the same page, and you have the same life dreams and goals. But then as you grow, your goals and things might change, and you might not be on the same page anymore. So you have to regroup with that, and figure out, you know, like, what are we doing? I'm going in this direction, you're going in that direction, and so it's best just to have those conversations and figure out, you know, like, compromise. Lots of compromising, yes. On both of your, you know, both of you have to compromise a lot. But I don't know if there's any secret to being married for a long time. I'm sure there's some subscribers here that have been married like for 50 years or more. And my hats are off to you. I mean, that is a great accomplishment. And it's really a great accomplishment for me, because to be with that same person day in and day out, that gets hard. And then if that person doesn't do things the way you like things, like in the house, cleaning up and just picking up after themselves and all that, that can add to the frustration. And yeah, it takes a lot of work on both of you's part, right? And you both have to realize that it's this person wasn't asking because they're having problems. They were just asking, like, what's your secret? How have you been married so long? But I'm just, throwing out my thoughts. Sassy. You are a lot of trouble, Sassy. I'm going to have to put you down because I got to move my stuff around. And sometimes she gets like right up here to the edge, and then she just kind of lays into my chest because she's actually wanting me to hold her. And she does that when she gets sleepy. She wants to get up over here, so I hold her and we can go to sleep, or she's trying to tell me we need to go to sleep or something. Come here, baby girl. Sassy. Sassy girl. Are you spoiled? You and Phoebe and Sissy are all spoiled. Here comes Phoebe. Oh, alright, so let me turn the page of my notebook. Oh, somebody asked about cups, Big Daddy's cups. He hasn't done any in a while because he's just been so swamped at work. But he does plan on getting back on that. He has some ideas and things he wants to do. Come here, Sassy. I'd appreciate if you'd go find somewhere else to go, okay? Go find Sissy and annoy her. Go get in the bed with Big Daddy. So he is going to get back on that. He's just been so swamped at work. He's not been able to do anything. Like, he had planned on trying to do a little deer hunting, but he just wasn't able to. Let's see. Oh, I laughed at this because I said in yesterday's video that I don't know how people up north survive the cold and the snow and having to shovel driveways and all that kind of stuff. And then Kim said, and we don't know how you survive the swampy heat. I don't either. Sometimes in the summertime I think I'm not going to survive. And me and my friend Angela, we complain about the heat. We complain about the cold. We complain about the rain, and we're like, it's just no making us happy. We're gonna complain about it no matter what. We laugh at ourselves because we'll just be complaining, and then it'll get, the next season and we're still complaining. And then Angela said the other day, she's like, there's just no making us happy. And I'm like, no, it's not. Uh, let's see. Oh, somebody asked about if I still collect calico critters. I do. I love my calico critters. Sometimes I just have to go in the doll room and just sit and stare at them for a little bit because they do bring me happiness, and I love those cute little critters. They're so fun. And then they also asked about reborn dolls, and I did mention that in yesterday's video. I still have my reborn dolls. I just can't handle them and do things. I can't dress them. They're just, my hands just can't handle it. Sometimes when I do dress them, change their clothes and stuff, Big Daddy does that. He gets them dressed for me. Oh, sassy. And then sometimes, anyway, I discovered that smaller dolls were easier for me. But sometimes, you know, I have trouble fidgeting with their clothes and getting them dressed too. But Big Daddy does it for me. He doesn't mind at all. He totally supports my doll collecting. He is, he's an enabler with that. And he likes that they do bring me some joy. And he's always like, just very supportive about it. He'll drive me to wherever, you know, if I want to go, just look at a doll, or I don't know, go to a doll estate sale, or rummage sellings, or thrift stores, or whatever, to look for thrifting for dolls and stuff. He's very supportive about that. He is. At Christmas, he did get me some little dolls for Christmas. He went on I have so many different wish lists on Amazon, like just things that I like to look at mostly. I have, you know, I had a Christmas wish list, and he went on there and found some little dolls that I had put off in there, and he ordered me some of those. So he's very supportive, and I appreciate that of him so very much. And as long as he is supportive, what anybody else thinks really doesn't matter. You know? Sassy, you're ridiculous. She's like, yes, but I won't up here by you. Oh, goodness. Okay, somebody asked about the shark. I did talk about that extensively in yesterday's video. Trying to look for more of that big twist cuddle yarn in the medium gray. They have it in light and they have it in charcoal. I haven't found it in the stores closest to me. My friend checked in a store in a different direction from us, and it's not online. And so some people are saying that it's been discontinued, and so that's probably the case. So, and people had lots of ideas about how I could, you know, like rip some of it out and make it smaller, and so I'm just going to rethink it and do something, you know, like that. So I really enjoy all those suggestions. I'm not in a hurry to get back on it, so I'm just going to wait around a little bit and see what my best option is. Sassy, no. No. She's like, it's like magic. She's silly. Silly girl. Alright, so moving on. Okay, so somebody asked about when my health issues started, and I thought I had this question already, but they mainly started after Elijah was born. That's when my health issues started. And then someone else asked about siblings, and I know I answered that in yesterday's video. And I meant to say this in that video, but somebody asked about it, so I will say it now. Okay, so I have a sister that was 6 years older than me, and she passed away in 2020. and I have a brother who is 13 years younger than me. So I'm the middle. And my sister had health issues. Like, she and I had the same type of health issues. We didn't go to the same doctor. I went to the doctor with her one time just so I could see how her doctor was, and I did not like him at all. He was a rheumatologist. I didn't like the way he talked to her. He was real smart alecky. And I'm all about that, joking around and being smart alecky. But I don't think he was joking around. He was more smart alecky in a mean way. And I just did not care for him at all. So, yeah, I stuck with my doctor. And so, but we did have a lot of the same symptoms, health issues. Like, okay, let me say this. When someone goes to the doctor, like they're feeling bad, they go to the doctor and then they come back and say, oh yeah, they diagnosed me with lupus, like on their first visit. I'm just very leery of that because it takes a long time to get diagnosed with lupus. That's not a one visit, oh, you got lupus thing. They might suspect it, but they don't really diagnose it. It takes years to get diagnoses with that kind of stuff. I was told in the beginning, like, connective tissue disease, and that is a true diagnosis. And then there's now they call mine mixed connective tissue disease. And so finally at one point they did diagnose me with lupus. Before that it was Sjogren's, fibromyalgia, just all these different, things. And then I finally got diagnosed with lupus. But now they don't refer to that as much anymore since I've been diagnosed with scleroderma and crest. Crest is like a whole mixture of things. Like the C stands for, I can't even think. The R stands for Raynaud's, the E stands for esophagus, the S is scleroderma, and the T is, I don't know if I can pronounce it, but what it is like on your face and different places, you might have these little red dots and redness up under the skin. And the C stands for, I think, calcium, calculus buildup things. I don't know. But anyway, my sister, they were at the same time, even though we were going to different doctors, both was leaning heavily towards lupus, but without a diagnosis, because at that time they were just calling it connective tissue. And now they call, for me, she's passed on, but for me they call it mixed connective tissue now, because it's just so many different things. I don't know, all that's really hard to understand. And even though you have that positive ANA and all these different test results, they don't just slap lupus on you without them pretty sure you have lupus, okay? That's not just a like, yeah, I went to the doctor today and they said I had lupus. No, it's years and years and years before you actually get that kind of diagnosis. But anyway, yes, my sister had lots of autoimmune diseases too. It is, horrible, but yeah. And some things I'm going through now, like I see happening with me, I'll think about her and I'll be like, oh, this is what Lisa was dealing with. This is what Lisa had. So anyway, if someone asked about my fingers, do I worry about injuring my fingers and gangrene setting up and all that kind of stuff? Every day. I worry about my fingers every day. This one right here is painful to touch. All this side over here is really painful. So I'm trying to use this side of the finger mostly, but yeah, I'm having a lot of issues with this finger. And even down here in this joint and the bend, there's a big knot right here. Like I can feel it under the skin. There's a big old knot right here. The whole finger is like super dry and scaly. So yeah, I worry about my fingers every day. And I don't know if they asked that because they saw me do up under my fingernails with this, but I wasn't doing anything that would injure my finger. I was just scraping my fingernail. And so that's not anything that's going to injure my fingers. But yeah, I worry about my fingers every day, trust me. A lot of times my fingers are hurting and I'll just stare at it for a minute to see, you know, like what's changing, what's it doing. And I look at my hands a lot. Yep. Anyway, I think I went through all the questions, and I enjoyed this, and I hope that you will come back and watch all month long. And don't forget to leave comments and questions, you know, below. And y'all are so sweet. There's just so many sweet, sweet comments below. And I appreciate just everyone. I appreciate those people who don't even play with yarn watching my videos. Yeah. And me and Big Daddy are going to record a video together. And some this next week. There might be even 2 videos a day. One in the morning and one in the late evening. And one about this will probably be the longest video. And the other one would just be like very short videos. But I do have some things that I want to show. And these videos are long enough as they are. So, yep, I'm going to get going because I have some clips that I know is going to be inserted in this video. So anyway, guys, thank you for watching, and I appreciate you all. Remember, it's a beautiful day to crochet. I'm going to finish this off right here, and then when we come back for the next video is where I'm going to start the randomness of my blanket. Love you guys. Bye.